Formats to be filled by Presiding Officer. This video is prepared by Dr. Y.P. Singh of SR Government Polytechnic College Sagar, Madhya Pradesh. Disclaimer: this training material is for use in training of election officials. It should not be referred as guidelines of Election Commission of India. In case of any variance in this training material, the ECI guidelines or rules or laws shall prevail. The names or numbers used in this video are just to explain different formats. They are taken as an example to discuss various formats. On the screen, format letter of appointment letter of polling agent is displayed. The polling agent is appointed by the candidate Alpha and the name of polling agent is Anil. The candidate or his or her election agent shall put his or her signature at the specified place. The polling agent formally accepts his appointment by signing the letter of appointment. This letter shall be produced by the polling agent before presiding officer. The polling agent will sign on the declaration before presiding officer. The signature of candidate or his or her election agent is must. Format for declaration to be made by presiding officer is displayed on the screen. Name of the parliamentary seat is 5, Sagar, and assembly is 41, Sagar. Name of polling station is 204, Women's Polytechnic College, and date of poll is 12th May 2019. The presiding officer shall read out the declarations aloud to all persons present in the polling station. The part of the declaration is displayed on the screen. The presiding officer shall sign the declaration and will also obtain the signatures of the polling agents as are present and who are willing to sign. If any polling agent refuses to sign the declaration, the presiding officer will make a note of his or her name in the space provided for that purpose. Then presiding officer will again sign the declaration and will also put seal. Format for part 2 of the declaration by the presiding officer at the time of use of subsequent voting machine, if any, is displayed on your screen. Name of the Lok Sabha constituency is 05 Sagar and assembly constituency is 41 Sagar. The presiding officer shall sign the declaration and will also obtain the signatures of the polling agents as are present and who are willing to sign. If any polling agent refuses to sign the declaration, the presiding officer will make a note of his or her name in the space provided for that purpose. Then presiding officer will again sign the declaration and will also put seal. Format for declaration of end of the poll is displayed. The presiding officer will put his or her signature at the specified place and will distribute the ballot paper account 17C to polling agents and will take signature as a receipt from polling agents. PO will also put the actual time of close of poll. In any event, the presiding officer cannot extend the appointment closing time, except for allowing such of the voters to vote who have already reached the polling station before the appointed closing time and taken their place in the queue for voting. For this purpose, the presiding officer shall distribute slips duly signed by him to the electors who are present at the polling station at the hour appointed for the close of poll, starting from the tail of the queue towards the head. Format for declaration made by the presiding officer after the sealing of the voting machine at the close of poll is shown on the screen. PO and agents will put their signatures on the form. Date and time of sealing will also be mentioned. The format shown on the screen is the letter regarding complaint to the SHO of police station. Here we have taken police station as civil lines. Lok Sabha constituency is 05 Sagar, Polling station is 204 Women's Polytechnic College. Date of poll is 12th May 2019. Here the name of the challenger is Anil and the name of the person whose identity has been challenged is Bunty Kushwaha. Before accepting the challenge, Presiding Officer will ask the challenger to deposit ₹2. Then, Presiding Officer will do the summary inquiry. In case the challenge has been established, Presiding Officer should hand over the person to the policeman on duty together with the complaint letter addressed to the station house officer of police station in the jurisdiction of which the polling station falls. On the last part of the format, the presiding officer will put his signature and seal along with date and place. This format is regarding declaration by an elector regarding age. In the case of a person whom PO consider much below the qualifying age, PO must be clearly satisfied about his claim of being an elector with reference to the entry in the electoral roll relating to him. If PO is prima facie satisfied about his identity and the fact of inclusion of his name in the electoral roll but consider him to be below the minimum voting age, PO should obtain a declaration as shown on the screen from that elector about his age on the first day of January of the year with reference to which the existing electoral roll of the constituency has been prepared or revised. Before obtaining the declaration from such elector, PO should inform him of the panel provision in Section 31 of the Representation of the People Act 1950 for making false declaration, which is up to 1 year imprisonment or fine or both. Here, as an example, we had taken the person as Rakesh Kumar. His father's name is Bhagirath Kumar. Part number of electoral roll is 204. His serial number in electoral roll is 173 and date of poll is 12th May 2019. At the end, PO will put his or her signature and also write date and name of polling station. PO should not entertain any challenge to a voter's identity by a candidate or his election or polling agent until the challenger pays ₹2 in cash. After the amount has been paid, PO will furnish a receipt to the challenger in the form shown on the screen. If PO considers the challenge as genuine, after summary inquiry, PO will return the challenge fee of ₹2 to the person who made the challenge after taking his receipt. After the summary inquiry, if PO is of opinion that the challenge was frivolous or was not made in good faith, then forfeit the challenge fee to government and do not return it to the challenger on the relevant counterfoil in the receipt book. Take the depositor's signature or thumb impression. Presiding officer should also prepare a list of voters from whom declaration regarding have been obtained such. The format for such a declaration is shown on screen. Presiding officer shall also maintain a list in part 2 of those voters who refuse to give the aforesaid declaration and go away without casting their votes. After the close of the poll, the above mentioned list and the declarations should be kept together in a separate cover. The format shown on the screen is the declaration by the companion of blind or infirm voter. If PO is satisfied that an elector is unable to recognize the symbol on the ballot paper affixed on the ballot unit due to blindness or is unable to record his vote by pressing the appropriate button thereon without assistance due to some physical infirmity, PO shall permit that elector under Rule 49N to take with him a companion of not less than 18 years of age to the voting compartment for recording the vote on his behalf and in accordance with his wishes. No person shall be permitted to act as a companion of more than one elector at any polling station on the same day. Before any person is permitted to act as a companion of the elector, PO shall be required to declare that he will keep the vote recorded by him on behalf of the elector a closely guarded secret and that he has not already acted as a companion of any other elector at any other polling station on that day. The declaration shall be obtained by PO from the companion in the form prescribed by the Commission and shown on the screen. Here, the name of the companion is Andrews Anthony, son of Michael Anthony, and is resident of 29 Manorama Colony, Sagar. He is companion of Mr. Chandrabhushan. Companion will sign the declaration. The presiding officer shall keep a record of all such voters in the proforma shown on the screen and will submit the same to the returning officer along with the EVM. Returning officer will consolidate all the information supplied by the presiding officers in his regard and submit the same to the Commission through the Chief Electoral Officer after declaration of result. The format shown on the screen is regarding mock poll certificate. After the successful conduction of mock poll and sealing of control unit and VVPAT after CRC, the presiding officer will sign the mock poll certificate. Please note down that not to forget doing CRC after mock poll and before doing necessary sealing work. As an example, we have taken the PO as Mr. R.K. Prajapati. Lok Sabha constituency is 05 Sagar and Assembly constituency is 41 Sagar. The name and number of polling station is 204 Women's Polytechnic College. A total of at least 50 votes should be polled in the mock poll. Here we have polled 10 votes each to all the 5 candidates including Nota and matched the control unit result with VVPAT paper slip count. Both the data matched successfully and in the last column write yes. The presiding officers shall mention the names of the polling agents and the candidates whom they represent and also obtain the signatures on the completion of mock poll on the certificate. The names of the candidates or party and polling agents have been taken as an example. The micro observer, if present, shall also sign the certificate. The format displayed is 49MA. If an elector, after having recorded his votes, alleges that the paper slip generated by the printer has shown the name or symbol of a candidate other than the one he voted for, the presiding officer shall obtain a written declaration from the elector as to allegation after warning the elector about the consequences of making a false declaration. If the elector gives the written declaration, the presiding officer shall make a second entry related to that elector in Form 17A and permit the elector to record a test vote in the voting machine in his presence and in the presence of the candidates or polling agents who may be present in the polling station and observe the paper slip generated by the printer. If the allegation is found true, the presiding officer shall report the facts immediately to the returning officer, stop further recording of votes in that voting machine and act as per the direction that may be given by the returning officer. If, however, the allegation is found to be false and the paper slip so generated matches with the test vote recorded by the elector under sub-rule 2, then presiding officer shall make a remark to that effect against the second entry relating to that elector in Form 17A, mentioning the serial number and name of the candidate for whom such test votes has been recorded, obtain the signature or thumb impression of that elector against such remarks and make necessary entries regarding such test vote in item 5 in part 1 of Form 17C. As an example, we have taken elector as Mr. Kedarnath, son of Mr. Gajendranath Patel. Part number of electoral roll is 204. Serial number of elector in that part number is 261 and serial number in register 17A is 261. The elector who has raised an objection and PO shall put the signatures on the form. The shown format is the declaration by the elector whose name is in ASD list. After making the necessary entries, the elector will sign the declaration. The shown sheet is the polling agents or relieving agents moving sheet. The polling agents or relieving agents movement sheet should be maintained at each polling station in which each and every polling agent shall be required to sign indicating the time at which he or she came and also when left the polling station. Register of voters in Form 17A is shown on the screen. In the second column of the register 17A, the serial number of the elector as given in the marked copy of the electoral roll should be noted in the register of voters 17A. The signature or thumb impression of the elector should be obtained on the register of voters before he is allowed to record his vote. If an elector refuses to put his signature or thumb impression on the register of voters, he shall not be permitted to vote, and an entry refused to vote will be made in the remarks column of the register of voters. In the case of electors voting on the basis of epic card, it is sufficient that the letters EP is mentioned in the column 3. If any other authorized document is used, then last 4 digits of the ID used to vote shall be written. For example, as you are seeing, first voter has used epic card, so EP is written. The second voter has used Aadhaar card for authentication, Aadhaar, and last 4 digits of that card is written. The third elector has used EDC, so his or her name will be entered in the last of the marked copy of electoral roll. The fourth has used SBI passbook, so last 4 digits of account number is written. After making necessary checking and entries, the PO will allow that voter to cast vote through EVM VVPAT. In the Form 17A, in the column meant for mentioning serial number of elector in the electoral roll, the serial number, part number and the name of the assembly segment of the ADC holder shall be maintained. For example, if the ADC holder is enrolled at serial number 415 in the part 25 of the assembly segment, then the entries in the column 2 of 17A in that case would be 415/25/EDC. In the remark column of Form 17A, EDC voter shall be written. The formats displayed is used to prepare list of tendered votes and it is called Form 17B. Presiding officer shall also maintain complete record of the electors who have been issued with tendered ballot papers in Form 17B. Column number 1 is for serial number. Column number 2 mentions the elector's name. Column number 3 is elector's serial number in electoral roll. Column number 4 is for writing serial number of 17A of those persons who have already voted in place of elector. Presiding officer shall also maintain the signature or thumb impression of the elector in column 5 of that form before delivering a tendered ballot paper to him. On the last section, presiding officer shall put his or her signature and date. For ballot paper account, separate video had been made, which is available on YouTube. The link is displayed on the screen. For presiding officer diary, separate video has been made, which is available on YouTube. The link is displayed on the screen. For 16-point observers report, separate video has been made, which is available on YouTube. The link is displayed on the screen. For sealing of forms or envelopes by presiding officer, separate video has been made, which is available on YouTube. The link is shown on screen. The names, figures used in this video were taken as an example to explain various formats. Presiding officer should use the actual names, figures while filling various formats. In this video, we have discussed about formats to be filled by presiding officer. If you have any doubts or suggestions regarding this video, then please contact through the mail as shown. For more election related videos, please visit the web address as shown on screen. This video is recorded in the voice of Vaishali Tambrakar. Thank you.